Stripe is the go-to choice for AI companies, from early-stage startups to scaled enterprises. 78% of the leading AI companies use Stripe to go to market quickly and scale globally. That includes pioneers like NVIDIA, OpenAI, and Perplexity. Stripe has developed cutting-edge tools to improve everything from fraud detection to checkout optimization. Whether you're aiming for incremental gains or planning for enterprise transformation, see how Stripe can help at stripe.com.
Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Richard Roth. Richard Roth is the founder of Progressive Tech, Seattle's highest-rated technical support company, famous for a distinctively human-centric approach to client care. For more than a decade, Roth led the company towards steady growth throughout the area's initial tech boom, holding a strong position within a notoriously competitive industry. Aside from hard-earned experience in the field, the secrets behind his long-term staying power include an approach built on real, relational investment in customers and staff, along with a steadfast commitment to superior service from start to finish.
Well, good afternoon, Richard. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You bet. This is exciting. We were chatting a little bit before the podcast got started here, but really like your story and how you're kind of out of hibernation, so to speak. You've transplanted in Miami and doing some cool projects. So we're going to jump into the questions, Richard, and so we can get our audience going. You've got quite the background as a marketing manager, entrepreneur, and now the founder and director at Progressive Tech. You've been doing that quite some time now. Could you share with our audience what drives you and what has contributed to your success?
Personally, I've always really enjoyed fixing things and helping people. So tech support really kind of appealed to me early on as I was younger and kind of came up with the technology movement. So I realized kind of early on that would be a pretty easy thing for me to help people with. At first kind of got paid in dinners and and food, but then eventually it kind of turned into a career. So not sorry about that. Our ongoing success with me and with my company, at the end of the day, I kind of learned that tech support is really more about people. I mean, there's a lot of engineers who can physically fix things, but there's not a lot of tech support that really focuses on making the client or the user feel comfortable. And that's, I think, been really our main claim to success. And also the way we kind of treat our staff. My team members have been with me for 7 up to 10 or more years, which was pretty crazy in any industry, especially tech support. Obviously, over the years, I've gone through a lot of resumes, and most people are, here for a couple of years and move on fairly quickly after that. And so it makes me feel really good that not only do our clients stay with us, but also our staff are really all long-term people.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I think that's really cool that you and I both know, being in tech and being leaders, Richard, that taking care of your staff goes a long way. If you take care of some good staff, they'll do the right thing by you and it actually help you and your customers. So thanks for sharing that. And Richard, as you know, everybody globally has had to make these major shifts during this pandemic, right? This new normal. Could you share with us what you've done to help your organization stay relevant in this economy?
Yeah, well, fortunately, we were fairly well positioned being in tech support to actually help people. A lot of people need help with the kind of the transition to everything being contactless. I go into a restaurant the other day and there's, it's outdoor seating. There's no one that comes to you. You order online, everything happens. You only see one person when they kind of bring out your food and that's it. And so for a lot of people who weren't comfortable with technology, there's been a lot of support and handholding to get them kind of adapted. People who are kind of resistant to technology really are not able to do that so much anymore. So we've been there for a lot of people in that transition. So that wasn't really that bad for us. I mean, we did offer a fairly robust on-site technical support kind of service and department, which obviously demand has decreased and we had to adjust staffing and strategies to adapt to that. But overall, we've settled in nicely to supporting people during this time. So we've been pretty instrumental to a lot of local businesses as they move to 100% remote and everyone being at home and supporting not only the corporate infrastructure at the office, but also now the personal technology of all of their at-home users. And security-wise, we're obviously only as secure as the weakest link in the chain, which in these times is usually some old consumer router at someone's home. That could be a point of a security breach or so forth. So I think we've kind of dovetailed through this crisis as well as we can and just trying to continue to be community service and to help those in need.
Oh, I've got too many bills.
If you need funds, you can apply in minutes at cashnetusa.com and have the money in your account as soon as the same business day.
Okay, got it. Applying now.
They've been helping hardworking people cover emergency expenses since 2004.
Hey, look, I got it.
You've got this.
When you need money fast, be the hero. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times. See cashnetusa.com for more details.
Great. I appreciate that. I think that's amazing what everybody's done. I love hearing these stories of people shifting and innovating to take on this challenge. So thanks again. And Richard, you're obviously leveraging some new and emerging tech in your tech stack, right? Anything you can share with our audience? Any tool or anything?
Oh, yeah. One exciting aspect for us, I guess, over the last 5 years is we've really grown our capabilities in the data recovery world. There's a lot of tech support, but really no one specializes in actual data recovery from failed devices. So we invested pretty heavily in some of the latest tools, engineer training and certifications for the data recovery world. And personally, one of my favorite things about this job is when I get to call someone who's been, worried about lost data and to let them know that, yes, we were able to save it. So that always puts a smile on my face and kind of reminds me why I got into it in the first place. I'm also pretty excited about the upcoming kind of smart home revolution maturation. Pretty much since I can remember, the smart home tech has been terrible. However, recently, Apple and Google and others have made some pretty big strides in creating, I guess, a better framework for like a more simple, accessible smart home. And so I think that will be a big thing in the future as that continues to mature. And on a personal note, I'm fascinated by functional ecosystems and their kind of ability to create or generate wealth or something of value. If you look at the natural world, the ability for plants, trees to take light and minerals and water and to create matter from that, something of value, something edible. We just don't have any technology that even comes close to that. So moving forward in my future, really a point of excitement and interest for me, moving into this upcoming kind of regenerative farming and land use practice, incorporating, I guess I would say, some old world wisdom with the best of new technology. So there's some exciting options for assisting with the climate, economic, or other problems that we're kind of facing as a culture and society today.
That's awesome. And Richard, like I mentioned, we've done some things here on our platform with some topics around that. So I think that's amazing. And, once you dive more into that, we'd love to have you back on the show. So Richard, last question. Everybody wants to know a little bit more about Richard Roth. Can you share something from your career experience that would be helpful for those looking either to grow their career in technology or entrepreneurship?
Well, in my case, I guess experience is everything, especially in IT. It's not an industry where necessarily you must get, a specific degree or anything or certification. It's really kind of open for those that have that ability and skill set. So I would say get out there, take any position or volunteer to gain some skills. Basically, every opportunity is a potential learning experience. How to manage staff, how to treat clients, how to deal with failure, how to deal with success. I would also suggest being open-minded, work to earn the respect, the trust of anyone you're working with or your employees if you end up having employees. Try to add value to your community and mostly your clients. If you provide a necessary service or product and focus on being above par, I guess that would be a good summary for kind of my focus and how I was able to keep a long-term relationship with my clients. And they really see us more as a partner and not just a vendor. So I guess that would really be my advice on a goal for any activity there.
Richard, I appreciate you sharing that. I think that'll go a long ways with our global audience. So I appreciate that. And Richard, it was a pleasure having you on today. I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Bye for now.
On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private between you and whoever you send them to. So things like the passport numbers for your honeymoon stay between you and your fiancé. And that video call for your grand's 80th stays in the family. Even your streaming password stays between you and your college roommates, who still ask for it every week in your group chat. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately.